Sometimes God sends us messages through other people. Nowadays, when we don't have prophecy in the same way, he has to find some way to communicate with us. And a lot of that is through the Torah itself, in the types of communication which are relevant for all time. But there are some things which are relevant for particular people at particular times, and Hashem has to find a way to communicate that with us. So sometimes he'll communicate that with us through our lives. We'll see that something is not working out, and maybe he's sending us a message that we should question that thing. Sometimes you'll find that people will say things to you, and even if those people don't necessarily hold the exact same values as us, it could be that Hashem sometimes plants a statement in them to say to you anyway. And even if they're not saying it for the same reasons as Hashem wants you to think about that thing, Hashem nevertheless often wants us to think about that thing. From this very road, Emek Raphaim, you can see a sign, it's a big massive sign, which says the line, Ha'achechem yavou lemilchama va'atem teshvu po. This line, which is a quote from the Torah, talking of course about the Bnei Reuven and Bnei Gad, it says, your brothers are going out to war and you're going to just sit here? This is a serious question. I understand that the people who put up this sign possibly do not hold the same values as all of us. I understand that they are not necessarily thinking about the stira in the Rambam and whether or not this is a Melchemes Mitzvah, and even if it's a Melchemes Mitzvah, whether or not people who are Toraso Munaso are nevertheless exempt. I understand that this is not necessarily going through their mind. But it doesn't matter, because I think it could well be that they are not really the ones who put the sign there. It could well be that it's really Hashem who put the sign there, and it is Hashem who wants us to address this question in a serious way. Ha'achechem yavou lemilchama va'atem teshvu po. And don't just come out with a quick answer. It's very easy, it's very tempting to just come out with a quick answer. Yeah, Torah is Magain and we're doing our spiritual contribution. Be honest with ourselves. This is an uncomfortable question. This is something which we should honestly ask ourselves. There are people who are dying now so that you can live, and you're going to sit here. What's the answer to that question? I don't know the answer to that question. And this is something which all of us should think about ourselves. And I will suggest one or two things that we can think about, but really the main thing is that the question is on every single one of us. We all have a responsibility to address this question and to honestly think about it and be open-minded about what the answer might be. I want to suggest two things that we can think about. The first, regarding this first part of the line, Ha'achechem yavou lemilchama, that your brothers are the ones who are going to war. I think that we have to ask ourselves whether or not we are taking a serious enough attitude to what we are doing. We are invested in learning Torah, but is it a war for us? Is it honestly a war? Chazal say that Ein Divrei Torah mitkayimim ela b'mi shememit atzmo aleim. You have to kill yourself over Divrei Torah. You have to take the attitude of memit atzmo. How many of us do this? How many of us are prepared to be moser nefesh for Torah? Really moser nefesh, memit atzmo aleim. So I'm not suggesting, okay, in my nicer hat to the Mashgiach rule, okay, I'm not suggesting that now you're going to do this 24/7, it's not going to work. But should there at least not be a time of the day, a short time of the day, where you give absolutely every single thing that you have? And even the rest of the day, okay, it's not that something like that, it's not sustainable for 24 hours a day. But are we at least acting professionally? Are we, my brother-in-law has been in and out of Miluim, has been in and out of the army throughout this time. He was up north, and he was one of the people who went into Lebanon. And I would ask him when he was off, just tell me about your experiences there. And he had a very intense time. He had a very intense time. You know, they had to sleep. I think, as the guest was telling us last week, you know, you'd have to sleep with your gun and your helmet. You're not really sleeping so much, and 3 or 4 times during the night, you have to get up for this and that and the other. And what happened? I said, what happens the next day? I knew the answer. But I said, what happens the next day when you had a bad sleep? It doesn't matter. You have to get up for the next operation. There's no choice. Are we taking this attitude to our Torah learning? This is something which we have to ask ourselves, but on the other hand, it's something which we're very capable of. The Hashem doesn't ask of us something that we're not capable of. We are capable of this thing, of taking Torah seriously, such that we should really be participating in a war in that sense. And the second thought that I wanted to share was regarding the second part. Your brother is going out to war. This idea that we are just sitting here, away from our brothers. Our brothers are out there and we are here. The Tanya explains that all of Klal Yisrael are really one body. We are not different people in a spiritual reality. We're actually one person, different parts of one bigger entity. And in that sense, the idea of being together, even if you are not, I'm not necessarily telling you now to go to Lebanon or Gaza or Syria, but if you, in your mind and heart, can join them there, that is a reality, because the spiritual reality anyway is that you are in fact united. And so if you can just bring that into your consciousness, then you're there. Then it's not your brothers are over there and you're over here. You're over there. And this is something which, again, is part of our responsibility. And it's also something which can make a difference, that this is something that people can really feel. They may not know why they're feeling it, but if you have the consciousness that you're standing together with them, then this is something that can actually make a massive difference. And this can be in our learning, to have this kavanah, to have this intent in our learning, that we are with our brothers, wherever it is that they are. And for that matter, for sure tefillah. For sure tefillah. How many of us have been davening for the soldiers more than just this piece of paper over here? More than just saying amen to the... and Baruch Hashem, this is better than a lot of places. Don't get me wrong. The fact that they've been saying tefillahs for the soldiers over here, that's very good. But how many of us have been doing this in our personal time? How many of us have been thinking about the plights that people are going through to save your life, to save my life? This is a couple of thoughts that we can think about. We have no excuse to not make sure that we are at least in the war with our Torah. We have no excuse to not at least make sure that we are together in our minds and hearts with our brothers who are doing that physical element of the fighting. This is a time when many Jews of many different kinds are calling upon people like us to become soldiers. That is what they are asking of us. They are asking that of us, of course, in their own way. But I think it is fair to say that there is no excuse for us not to heed the call to be a soldier. We should all be soldiers of God. We should all be soldiers of the Jewish people. And we should all take that attitude to everything we do, to our Torah, to our mitzvot. And with that, may we indeed merit to take up that call to be a true Jewish soldier.
We really hope that you're able to grow and enjoy with this amazing content that we just put together. Do us a favor. Don't just make it about you and me. Share this with the world. Get that Torah out there for everyone to see. Additionally, if you want to hear more, which we hope you do, you can subscribe to our content so that you can be up to date with all of the new amazing Torah that we have here in the yeshiva, pumping it out to you as the Klal.